Welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel today, guys, as we're back again and thrown immediately straight back into action because Barça on Saturday will be heading to Mestalla to face Valencia, and off the back here of our latest Champions League calamity, La Liga just got even more important. The league title now, it is our priority. So I tell you already, before we even start in today's video, I don't want to hear it's not been an easy week for the players. I don't want to hear that from Xavi. I don't want to hear that from the board. I don't want to hear it from commentators saying that, oh, the disappointment of the Champions League, it might have a hangover this weekend. No, it can't. We got knocked out. You got knocked out of the Champions League. So now you deal with it and you hit back. You give us something here in the league. We're only 3 points back. We're right there with Real Madrid battling, and we have to win. We can't afford here to throw away another competition, and that's why today we are going to be talking about a man who knows that only too well, Xavi Hernandez, and the changes that he must enforce at this club now, not only to shape this club's future, but also to secure his own as the Barcelona coach. It is all coming your way. It is all coming up. So come on, let's do it. And before we do get into all of that, guys, I just want to start by saying a big thank you to each and every one of you for joining me here today, and indeed for joining me right throughout this incredible, and I mean incredibly difficult, month of October. Because it hasn't been an easy month for me, honestly, in terms of making videos there. 9 games in 29 days. That is a game there basically every 3 days. We've been here with previews, we've been here with reviews, and everything in between. No days off, but I've always been able to fall back on you. You've always been there to pick me up, especially given the month that we've had with the team. But now it's about coming through it, and now it's about coming out the other side just before we head in now to this winter break. It's not far away. We cannot fall down again. We have to stand up. And as you can see right here, I think plenty of people this weekend are expecting an improved performance from Barça, some sort of response. That's what we'd like to see. And of course, a response, it won't take away what happened in midweek. I'm not saying that whatsoever, but we just have to see this team showing us something, and especially showing us some character, and especially as well when looking at Xavi, because I look at his words coming into this game this weekend, and he openly said, I do feel confident in this project. This season, we know we have to win titles at this club, and Xavi says the results will come. He is very confident that he'll get this right, but he openly admitted if the results don't come, then a new coach will come. And I think that's brutal honesty there from somebody who does understand this club. He's been here at Barça nearly his entire life. He knows how the club works. He understands the expectations that we have here, and he knows he will have to deliver to stay here. And I did think it was interesting yesterday, in fact, looking there at Kiki, who's obviously now taken over at Villarreal as their new coach, and he's been asked now several times in his press conferences since going there about his time at Barça and indeed reflecting on our situation now. And I thought Setien's words, they were intriguing. He said, I'm not surprised by Barcelona's situation. He said, actually, I expected it. He said, at Barça, I found great players that were very stubborn to change. He said, I wasn't myself there. I couldn't be. And regardless of what you may feel, about Setien, about his time at Barcelona, and all of that kind of stuff, I think a quote like that there, that kind of encapsulates why I expect so much of Xavi Hernandez as the Barcelona coach. Because unlike so many of the coaches that have come before him there, and so many that we've indeed seen over these past few seasons, Xavi has full authority. He has the license here as the Barca coach to ultimately do as he sees fit. If he doesn't want a player, they're gone. If he wants to bring in a player, we'll do everything to get them. He has the complete and utter trust and indeed power there from the board. And I don't think actually since Pep Guardiola have we seen a Barca coach have this much power at this club. And that is why I feel like here, Xavi has all of the foundations, all of the groundwork being laid around him to make his time at this club a big success, to properly revolutionise this club. But in order to do that, he must take the necessary steps. And I think following on from that too, something especially following on from the Bayern game that I want to talk about here. First of all, look at this here from Xavi Simons, who spoke just yesterday about the fact that Barca, when he was there at least, didn't work in the gym, only with the ball. And when he went to Paris Saint-Germain, he was surprised by the amount of work and the different kind of training that they were doing and the differences that he experienced there. And again, regardless of what you may feel about Xavi Simons, you know, this is not about him, this is not about his words, but this is not the first time that we've heard something like that from a former Barca player. And against Bayern, I think that was highlighted again. Because I think you watch their performance against us at the Camp Nou and indeed in the reverse game, and especially the games against them last season, and the one thing that you see above everything else, it's not necessarily about the quality of their players, it's not necessarily about the tactical way that they approach the game, but it's the basics. They're quicker than us, they're sharper, they're more powerful, they're more dynamic, and I think at times at Barca, we overcomplicate things, and actually, we forget about the basic elements, what you need in the modern game to succeed. And I think Bayern encapsulate that there, because you can have the best plan, you can have a perfect tactical plan, but if your opponents are beating you to every ball, if they're stronger than you, if they're fitter than you, if they're sharper than you in every area of the field, well, there's nothing you can do, and there's nothing that you will be able to do until we can match that level. And I think that's why for Xavi right now, I would really stress the importance of getting back to basics, because when he first arrived as the Barca coach for me, you look at the squad that we had, it was massively inferior to what we have here today, but we saw a massive change. You know, the attitude there from the end of Koeman's time into Xavi's time at Barca, it was night and day. The hunger that we saw from his team, the pressing, the intensity, not only in games, but also in training, and also there in terms of preparation. And I just wonder here that as now this time has gone on, as a coach, you've got to work really hard to keep that hunger, to maintain those standards and those levels. You need to have every player there working hard, working for their place. And I don't know here if we've reached a point where we've just got a bit comfortable. We've got better players in this summer, we've got lots more quality in our squad now, but did we kind of just expect that, yeah, that quality will shine through. We will get through games. We'll get through the Champions League group. We'll find a way. It'll happen. And we stop worrying about the basics. I think right now, no matter what players we have, no matter how confident you may be of your sporting and tactical plan, what you cannot fail to do is work hard. And I think it's time here for Xavi to stamp his authority on this team all over again, get back to basics, and get us working hard. And I think when you are looking at this weekend's game against Valencia, there's a real opportunity here for Xavi to again stamp that authority and just make sure this team is dynamic, is fresh, is sharp. And that means Ter Stegen in goal for me. It means continuing with Alejandro Balde at left back. Now along the back line, we know that we're not blessed with options. Most likely it's going to be Jules Koundé. I would bring in Eric Garcia at centre back. You know, you could continue to play Alonso there, but I think Eric, you know, why not have a natural centre back in that area? Bellerin probably is going to play at right back because again, we do not have many other options indeed, but it's in midfield where you can stamp that authority. It's in midfield where you can say, okay, it's Frenkie de Jong. There shouldn't be an argument. There shouldn't be a debate there about whether it's going to be Frenkie or Busquets, because on form, on quality and the attributes of the players, it's De Jong. There's no debate about that. He is at the base of the midfield, and Busquets is a substitute. And it's the same there in midfield. You have Xavi, you have Pedri, and that is your trio. That is a trio capable of dominating any team. And then there's attack. And again, I'm looking for sharpness. I'm looking for cohesion, connections, combination play. I think Lewandowski obviously continues down the middle, but I think off to the left, start Ansu Fati. The time has come now to play him regularly. It's already been and gone, by the way. We should have gotten to this point much, much earlier, but let's see Ansu on the left-hand side where he belongs, and on the right, I would seriously consider starting Ferran Torres. I think he's looked bright. I think he's looked energetic. Every single time that he's come on recently, he's made an impact in the game. Why not play him there? A really hard-working player who's going to set the tone, who's going to press opponents and lead from the front. It's an option. You've got Dembele, of course. You have Xavi, knows that only too well. You've got Rafinha as well, who will be looking for game time. But I just think they're Lewandowski, Ansu, Ferran. It's a trio that can combine. It's a trio that can cause problems and work out of possession. Why not give it a go? This team here should beat Valencia and was doing it well. So those right there, guys, are some of my thoughts that have been bottling away since the defeat to Bayern, since our Champions League collapse. And I just want to share them here with all of you here today, because I think from this team, we want to see a response, we want to see evolution, and the time has come to just make that step forward and not look back. Let's move on now and leave the past where it is. That is what is important to me right now, that Xavi really shows us that he can learn and he is willing to evolve as a Barcelona coach. Please do let me know what your thoughts and your predictions are ahead of this game on Saturday. What are you expecting from the team selection? And what are you expecting in terms of the result? Thanks again, guys, for all of your support throughout the month of October. It has been a tough one, but we found our way through, and I really do appreciate all that you've given me. I will see you soon, though, for another match review. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.